Hey everybody, this is Christopher Donnell, one of the pastors here at Urbana United Methodist Church, and it is Monday, time for another Motivational Monday. So I'm sitting here with my good friend Adrian Calhoun. Met Adrian a couple years ago, and we are just good buddies, and I love his heart when it comes to the ministry and mission of Jesus Christ, and the good news of the gospel and how he lives it out. And he's just also a great guy, and we usually have a lot of fun together, good conversation. But Adrian is on a new adventure in life, and something that is relevant to all of us who live in Champaign County. And he's starting a new organization called Champaign County Hope for Good. So Adrian, what's that?
Yeah, so thanks for having me, Christopher. It's great to be in this conversation with you on Motivational Monday. So Champaign Hope for Good is a faith coalition or collaboration between churches and between community organizations working together to promote wholeness and wellness ultimately for individuals as for just our community altogether. We have been given a grant from the Ohio Mental Health Department to be able to meet needs with people in our community so that we can help address some of these challenges that people are facing today, addressing vulnerability, and just how can we tangibly be the hands and feet of Christ.
Wow, that's awesome. So you got a grant from the government to go be the hands and feet of Jesus?
Yeah.
Awesome. I like that. That's awesome. So how are you in this role? I mean, how did you get here? What brought you to this place? But also, why? Why are you involved with this? Because you could be doing lots of different things, right?
Yeah, so that is a very interesting question. So my journey, I have been a lead pastor as well as a youth pastor here in the community, and God has brought myself and my family here and just really laid a passion on being in the mission field, especially as we all know, 2020 was pretty rough.
Right.
And with the mental health side of things, I am actually going back to school for clinical mental health counseling. And so that is a new area of mission field that God has led me into. And so recently I transitioned in my position from being a youth pastor to where this new collaboration was happening, and they were looking for a faith coordinator, and really God just opened the door up as something that I'm very passionate about, meeting people where they are and being able to meet a need, which ultimately shows them the love of Christ. And the end goal, we hope, is that people would get connected to a faith community, but just really empowering the body and being an encouragement too.
That's awesome. So you were in ministry, and you found this new passion calling around mental health counseling, and then you have this opportunity to then go and work in that field.
Yeah.
Pretty almost simultaneously, right? I mean,
yeah.
Pretty close.
Yeah, honestly, I couldn't have put it together better if I was doing it myself. So
it's a good thing we're not, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
That's awesome, Adrian. And so your passion is for helping those who are, again, you talked about last year, who, mental health is such a big weight in our world right now, and it's becoming better and easier to talk about. But with this coalition, how will that meet needs? How will it bridge that mental health conversation, but also tangible needs?
Yeah. So, I mentioned mental health is something that God has really laid on my heart of helping people in that area. But the coalition is really so much more than that. Even in our name, Hope for Good, ultimately, every person on the face of the earth wants hope. Mm-hmm. Whether you know Jesus or you don't, whether you're ultra religious or not, hope is something we all long for. Right. And good, who can disagree with good, right? So we, even with how we are presenting who we are, hope for good, there's a sense of permanence that comes with that. Ultimately, we know by meeting a need, whether that's putting in a handicap ramp, maybe it's helping deliver groceries to somebody who is homebound, or maybe it is just calling someone up and helping in that way. it shows the love of Christ. And so we hope that it would be a permanence, that someone would experience that ultimate hope that comes from a relationship with Jesus Christ, and is able to, their life be changed, and as well as having a fulfilled experience living in our community.
Right.
We desire for wholeness and restoration to happen. There are so many things that have happened, not just on the health side, but also socially. So as we're thinking about what can we do, how can the church be part of our community, and also working towards, we've got so many organizations in this community who are working towards the greater good, and, doing things from, meeting a food pantry need, or providing shelter, transportation, or doing repairs or skills, those kind of things. And looking back on it, we said, what is it that we can do to bring those things together? It's kind of like a car, right. Paul talks about the church being like a body. Some are hands, some are feet, some are eyes, some are limb. Whatever. It's kind of that same philosophy. It's like, well, if in one church is like an engine, and another one's a wheel, another is a transmission, let's all work together so that we're heading the same direction, right. But we can more efficiently meet people where they are today, and help provide, helping them achieve wholeness.
That's awesome. So this is a relatively new thing. So when did it start?
Yeah, it started back in October, I believe, of 2020.
Okay.
So I was hired into this position in March of 2021.
Okay. So since March, which isn't much time, you got any stories or situations that come to mind that just brings you that hope?
Yeah.
Hope for good? Anything come to mind?
Well, so far we have had 26, 27 collaborative partners.
Wow.
Being part of the coalition, and we are excited as more throughout our community that are getting engaged. But yeah, we've had some pretty cool experiences so far. Anything from, one of our partners gave us a call, and there was a gentleman who needed food. He couldn't get out of his home. Wow. He was just really struggling, didn't have a connection with a faith community, and really he was a widower. And so I got the call from one of our community partners, and so I called up one of our pastors and I said, hey, here's a guy who is really in need. We're working on getting him set up with Meals on Wheels. Is there someone in your church that can go out and just drop off food?
Wow.
You don't have to buy anything.
Right.
You literally just pick it up from point A and take it to point B, and then just follow up with them.
Right.
We're, as believers, we're looking for that open door in order to share the gospel, and really, we do that through loving our neighbors. Yeah, and so this is that open door. So it's really embracing that. So that was an easy way. It didn't cost any money except maybe 8 miles worth of gas,
right.
To go out and deliver it. And from there on, this person from this church has been able to maintain a relationship with this guy that he didn't previously have anyone, really. And social isolation is such a prevalent issue in our community. I think that's important that the church addresses it. And even this past week, I got a call from one of the fire chiefs up in North Lewisburg, and said, hey, we're out on a call, and there was somebody who they're in need of a wheelchair ramp. And through this, I got your name from another one of our fire chiefs that's been involved in the Faith Coalition, and is there a way that you all could help? So I talked with our committee, and I reached out to the individuals, and they're like, yeah, so this is what we need. We really need it by Tuesday. Well, this was Friday. Yeah. And I was like, man, I really don't think I can pull this off by Tuesday, but we'll do our best.
Right.
Well, just happened that God was already working in another avenue with one of our other churches that is part of our coalition as well. And they had worked with this family before. And so I called up the pastor there and said, hey, here's the need. We can provide the resources. Can you provide the manpower to do it? And by Monday evening, we had this ramp installed at this house.
That's so cool.
So yeah, there are lots of different ways that people can get involved. Some that don't cost anything. So really, it's kind of changing our mindset too from a, how poor are you or what is your need, but what is the asset that you bring to the table? And for churches, especially, it's not focusing on, well, I don't have as much money as the other churches, or, we're small in number, or, I may be older and can't do what I used to do. It's, what can you do?
Yeah.
What do you bring to the table right now that could literally change someone's life?
That's good. And I think that speaks to everyone having a purpose, right? Because I love how you say, what can I do right now? Because it does change throughout life. I mean, if you're a young family with kids, schedule is crazy.
Absolutely.
As you get older, maybe you have more resources, time, or finances, or whatever that may be. Or when you get even older, maybe you just have companionship to offer. Whatever that may be, it changes through our lifetime, but there's always purpose along the plan.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so how can we get involved? How can we support you? How can, lots of different people watch Motivational Monday, not just our church, but, the community. So how can we help get involved? What can we do?
Absolutely. So one of the ways you can get involved, if you'd like more information, you can contact me directly at ccfaithco@gmail.com.
Okay.
Or you can call me at 937-582-1142. And that will get you in connection directly with me. We meet once a month. Right now we're kind of doing a hybrid Zoom in person. So for those of you, if you can't make it in person, you can hop on a computer or phone or wherever you are.
Anybody can come?
Yeah,
Okay.
Absolutely. So this isn't just another group just for pastors or for community leaders, or it's really anybody who's a believer, and wants to make a difference, or just you. That is part of, wholeness is important to you. We have a lot of different people, different backgrounds, different church backgrounds, different organizations in our community, from fire department to community paramedic, to a lot of different people. And, we find that we make a difference when we work together.
Yeah. Well, I love how you painted a picture of, you have a government-funded grant, you're working with local city officials and fire departments, and they're calling the church to come and help. I think a lot of times we hear how, the government wants nothing to do with church, and there's this, it's us against the world, but really there is an open invitation, because we can't do this alone.
Right.
And we need each other, and the world recognizes that, and they see that when we work and collaborate. So I think that's a great picture. Thanks for talking about how we can get involved. Adrian Calhoun here again. I'll put his information up on the screen. And this has been Motivational Monday. Hopefully you're encouraged to go out and be the hands and feet. If you see a need, don't hesitate to get a hold of myself or Adrian or Pastor Jim or any of the other churches in the community to start working together to build that car to go in the same direction. I think that's great. Thanks, Adrian.
Absolutely.
Have a great day.
Have a good one.